Luka Doncic, the NBA's ultimate puzzle, and how LeBron might have found the missing piece. Luka Doncic has become one of the most unguardable forces basketball has ever seen, with a career scoring average of 29 points in the regular season, and even more impressive 31 in the playoffs. He's already carved out a reputation as a nightmare for defenses. In the 2023 to 2024 season, he took things even further, winning the scoring title with nearly 34 points per game. Stopping him is practically unheard of. But NBA legend LeBron James may have offered a rare glimpse into how teams might limit the Slovenian superstar, something few have come close to doing. To understand how to slow Luka down, we first have to understand why he's so hard to stop. Unlike most guards, Luka stands at 6'7", giving him the size of a forward with the ball skills of an elite point guard. That size means most traditional guards are simply too small to match up with him physically. Not the fastest player on the floor, but he doesn't need to be. Luka's tight handle and footwork are next level. He can back down smaller defenders, pull up for mid-range jumpers, and drain fadeaways over nearly anyone. And while he used to be inconsistent from deep, those days are over. He shot a career-best 38% from three this past season. That step-back three, now just as lethal as his post-up game. So what do teams do when a player can score from anywhere? They double him. But even that's a trap. Luka isn't just a scorer, he's one of the best playmakers in the league. His court vision is off the charts. Double him and he'll find the open man with pinpoint accuracy. Whether it's a shooter on the wing or a cutter diving toward the rim, Luka makes the right read almost every time. His basketball IQ is what truly separates him. He sees the game to moves ahead. Is there any defender who can contain him one-on-one? Well, not really, but a few have shown glimpses. The Mavericks' recent playoff run, especially with the series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, revealed something interesting. Luka averaged just 24 points in that matchup, his lowest in any playoff series ever. That's because OKC's Lou Dort made life difficult. Dort hasn't been named to an all-defensive team, but don't let that fool you. He has the rare combination of strength and size to match Luka physically. Unlike taller but slimmer defenders like Jaden McDaniels, Luka can't bully Dort or easily shoot over him. And Dort's effort fighting through screens slowed Luka's rhythm. Luka himself once called Dort a top 3 defender, and in that series, it showed. In the following round, Luka faced McDaniels, who had just made an all-defensive second team. But despite McDaniels' length, Luka had a much easier time. Why? It comes down to physicality. Luka struggles more with defenders who can match his frame and strength, not just wingspan. Even Holiday, who's smaller than Luka, has had success. His compact build and physical approach have helped him hold his ground, even against bigger offensive players. But here's the kicker: even if you've got the perfect individual matchup, Luka is still going to hurt you in the pick and roll, which is where LeBron's insight comes in. The pick and roll is Luka's playground. Whether he's working with Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford, it often forces opposing big men out of the paint and into uncomfortable territory. Let's talk coverages. One popular option is drop coverage, where the big man stays near the basket and doesn't fully step up on Luka. That gives him space to operate. And considering his mid-range game and floater, it's dangerous. But ironically, LeBron suggests this might actually be the best bad option. Why? Because blitzing Luka or switching opens up easy lobs and corner threes to things he thrives on, and the numbers back it up. Before the 2024 finals, the Mavs had 54 alley-oop dunks in the playoffs, more than 5 times as many as most teams. Luka's chemistry with his bigs makes those lobs nearly automatic. Pull the big out to trap Luka, you leave the roll man open. Rotate another defender to help. Now you've left a shooter open, and Luka will find them. That's the bind defenses. Face, stop the drive and give up the lob, or contest the lob and give up the three. And this is where LeBron's idea makes sense. He believes that drop coverage, though not perfect, might force Luka into more contested jumpers without surrendering lobs or wide open threes. It's a pick your poison approach. LeBron is essentially saying, force Luka to beat you with tough shots, not with easy passes. Of course, this doesn't mean Luka is easy to stop, far from it. But it does mean the best way to slow him down might not be brute force or overthinking. It's understanding his strengths, recognizing what won't work, and accepting that even the best strategy only limits, never stops, a player like Doncic. Because when you're dealing with one of the smartest, most skilled defensive players of this era, the goal isn't to shut him down. The goal is simply to survive.
Switching. Because they don't run many small pick and rolls. They run a lot of 1-5 pick and rolls, when it comes to, because the 5 is, usually not as mobile or whatever, not as agile. So they try to bring the 5 up, and they have those 2 lob threats, which Luka loves. So I know that switching is not it. We saw that at the end of game 2.
Luka Doncic might be the most unguardable player in the NBA today, maybe even in league history. With a 6'7" frame, elite playmaking, next-level IQ, and the ability to score from literally anywhere, Doncic has consistently left defenses scrambling. He averages 29 points per game in his career, 31 in the playoffs. and just won the 2024 the scoring title with nearly 34 a night. Stopping Luka isn't just hard, it's borderline impossible. But someone might have finally cracked the code. That someone, LeBron James. Now Luka and LeBron share a lot in common: high Q playmaking with unreal vision, feel for the game, and a knack for dictating tempo. Luka himself grew up idolizing LeBron, and it makes sense. He's essentially a younger, sharpshooting version of the king. So when LeBron speaks on how to defend Luka, you listen. But first, what exactly makes Luka so hard to stop? It starts with his size. At 6 even, he bullies smaller guards and shrugs off most wing defenders. He's not fast, but his footwork and handle let him control the pace like a chess master. He can post you up, fade away, or hit a step-back three. In fact, he's now shooting 38% from 3, up from 33% in his first 5 seasons, which makes sagging off him a huge mistake. You can't go under screens anymore, and you can't really go over either, because he'll just break down the defense and pick you apart. So what's left? You double-team him. Problem is, Luka's also one of the best passers in the league. You send help, and he finds the open shooter, or throws a perfect lob to Lively or Gafford. The Mavs led the entire playoffs in alley-oop dunks by a mile in 2024. They had more lobs than the next 3 teams combined. Luka's lobs are practically automatic. You collapse the defense, you get burned, you stay home. Luka cooks you 1-1. It's a lose-lose. So who's even slowed him down? Surprisingly, Lu Dort. In the 2024 second round versus OKC, Luka averaged just 24 points, his lowest ever in a playoff series. He had 3 rough games in that stretch, and the Thunder didn't run gimmicks or crazy traps. Dort just straight up guarded him. Why was that effective? Because Dort has a similar frame, strong, compact, and physical. Luka couldn't just shoot over him or bully him like he usually does, and Dort fought through screens better than almost anyone. It worked well enough to matter. On the flip side, defenders like Jaden McDaniels, long and tall but skinny, struggled. Luka backed him down. Even elite defenders like Drew Holiday only had partial success. Physicality matters more than length with Luka. So what about pick-and-roll coverage? That's where Luka thrives. He runs most of his PNRs with Gafford or Lively, forcing opposing bigs into space. Drop coverage, Luka feasts. He gets mid-range floaters, step backs, or walks into the paint. Show hard or hedge, he finds the lob man every time. Blitz him, he'll whip the ball to the open man. Switch, now you've got your center on an island, and we all saw what he did to Rudy Gobert in Game 2 of the West Finals. Step back game, winner, lights out. So, what the hell do you do? This is where LeBron's insight comes in. According to him, you have to switch everything, but only if you have no weak links. That's what the Celtics did in the 2024 finals, and it actually worked better than anything we've seen. Boston has 0 defensive liabilities. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis. Every switch gave Luka a tough matchup. There were no mismatches to exploit, no easy lobs, and no wide-open threes. Of course, Luka still got his he's. Luka, but it was less efficient. They made him work. That's the best you can hope for. The takeaway.
Elimination, JJ. I will say blitz and place the onus on the 5-man in the short roll to make a play. And let's see if Lively, Gafford, and, Dwight Powell a little bit because of, obviously, Lively's injury, in Game 4 or Game 3. So I would say that. You live with those chances.